They can take the 10 Commandments off the courthouse walls. They can even take all the manger scenes out of the parks and the malls. They can take my blessed Bible, tear the pages all apart, but they'll never take my Jesus out of my heart. They can take away our rights to pray and throw us all in jail, but they can't take away the life He gave, and they can't send my soul to hell. They can take my blessed Bible, tear the pages all apart, but they'll never take my Jesus out of my heart. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. They can take away our liberty to preach God's holy word. They can even make it against the law if we witness door to door. They can stop our voices from preaching in the street, oh, and even in the park, but they'll never take my Jesus out of my heart. They can take away our rights to pray, even throw us all in jail, but they can't take away the life He gave, and they can't send my soul to hell. They can take my blessed Bible, tear the pages all apart, but they'll never take my Jesus out of my heart. They can take my life and bury me in a grave so cold and dark, but they'll never take my Jesus out of my heart. Never get Him out of my heart. Hallelujah.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. You know, probably going to make a lot of people mad, but that's all right. I've been doing that for 25 years. But you know, if we'd have had another 8 years, like the last 8 years, they would have done exactly what that song sings about. Another 8 years under President Obama's administration, there would not be a place to mention Jesus. You know, it got to the point after 8 years of his administration, you couldn't say Merry Christmas without getting in trouble. There was not one move that anybody, and listen, I'm preaching to hundreds of millions of people right now. Not one of you can tell me one thing that he did in his administration that lifted up or promoted Christianity. There's not one deed in 8 years that administration, I'm not blaming one man now, that administration did in 8 years to promote Christianity or to uphold Christianity. Not one deed can anybody tell me that he did. I can tell you how they took crosses down all over the world. I can tell you how they took plaques down all over the world. I can tell you how they said you couldn't use the name Jesus anymore. You couldn't use the name God anymore. You couldn't do any of those things. But you could lift up Muslim and Islam. You could lift up all the Muslim rights and everything. He did away with National Prayer Day. And what did he put? National Muslim Prayer Day. Did everything to destroy Christianity. So I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to tell you that Jesus did it on Calvary. He finished it all. He finished it all so that you and I can pray. You've not been in third world countries probably where they don't have Bibles. I went into Russia years and years ago. I preached in an underground service one night that was hid from everyone. And an ex-KGB soldier is the one that made it happen. Went into that room at night. We had to go down in the basement. No lights, pouring down rain outside, freezing, cold. Went down the dark stairs. Had to go by flashlight down there. As I went through the room, you could see Stalin's picture hanging over the desk. Went down that little room, and when I got down there was a big red curtain, and it had the sickle on it, the Russian symbol on it, in gold. The curtain was red, and there was a few people. There was 97 people in the room. They had come to hear what I had preached about 2 or 3 days before on the side of the road. They wanted to know more about this Jesus. You see, they'd never heard of Jesus. They'd never heard of God. 70 years had gone by with no Bibles, no religious literature, no church, no meetings. And I stopped beside the road one day, started talking to him about Jesus, and Igor said, no. I said, what? He had been a Christian 1 year, underground Christian. He said, they know nothing about Jesus. He said, you got to start at the very beginning. God created. And then you go through the Garden of Eden and tell them why Jesus came. So I had to stop and start all over again. But when I got through, people left the line that they were standing in and come out there and fell on the ground crying and asked Jesus into their heart. And out there it was 20-some degrees. And then that's when they asked me, can you come back and tell us more? And I said, there's no place. They said, we'll set it up. You go down and talk to this person and see if we can get that building for one night. We went down and we were able to secure it. That was on a Sunday or Monday afternoon. I can't remember. Anyway, we got it on Wednesday evening. Went back to that building, and there wasn't a light to be seen anywhere. Total darkness. Went up and beat on the door. Nobody came. Beat on it again. Nobody came. Beat on it the third time. Finally, we heard footsteps coming through the room. And that's when the soldier met us at the door with the flashlight. Took us back to the room. I didn't know what to expect. We were going into a place where we weren't supposed to be, preaching about something we weren't supposed to be preaching about, in a country that didn't like Americans as far as I knew. Found out that was a lie. The Russians love Americans. Russian people are wonderful people. It's just the governments have got everybody turned against one another. Anyway, I went down there, and there was 97 people in the room. And I got up and I preached. They introduced me, and I got up and I preached Jesus. And if you ever saw one of our old programs, you saw that red curtain.